This video is brought to you by you guys. Thank you so much to all the channel members. Your support has been amazing. We've got tons of cool perks available, so if you want to check them out, click the join button or the top link in the description. Thanks, and enjoy the video. Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is The Raptor, and today is finally the day that we are going to be able to watch the new episode of Death Battle, Gru versus Megamind, Illumination versus DreamWorks. I am incredibly excited for this episode. As I'm sure a lot of you guys know, this has been one of my most wanted death battles for like the longest period of time at this point, and it's so exciting that we're finally getting it. You know, I haven't loved all of the material that these guys have been in, but I still love the characters. I think they are hilarious, and putting them together I think is just going to make things even better, and it's going to be cool to see how they analyze certain things for these characters. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm hyped as hell. And this is the first death battle of this year, I'm pretty sure, where I'm definitively rooting for one character to win over the other, and in this case that's Megamind. I would really like to see Megamind win this. I think he's such a well-written character, such a fun parody of the Lex Luthor type and all that. I've always thought that the first Megamind movie was better than the first Despicable Me movie, let alone all the other ones. Although the first movie of that quadrilogy is still fun in its own right. It's still like a 2010s classic, but the Megamind movie is really special to me. I think before it was really underrated as a DreamWorks movie, but now people seem to recognize it for what it is. You know, it's really great. So I would really like to see Megamind win this, and I know he does have very decent arguments for winning, so I guess I just hope that Death Battle buys those arguments and really thinks that they would win out over Gru's arguments. That's what I'm hoping for. However, whether or not he actually will win this is a different question entirely. In my prediction video I made about a month back, I did side with Gru a little bit. It was pretty reluctant because, again, they do both have pretty decent arguments for winning, and I think it's really going to come down to whether or not Megamind can circumvent enough of the minions well enough and quick enough. Because if he can't, which I'm kind of leaning right now more towards that he wouldn't really be able to do that, then I think despite them having somewhat similar win cons, Gru would just be able to execute his quicker if Megamind has to deal with all the minions and they're really that overwhelming. Because he can definitely take care of a few of them with his D-gun and such, but taking out enough of them at mass, I'm just not sure if he can yet. But if Death Battle determines that he can, then I think it kind of flips, and I think that Megamind has a really good chance of winning, because again, they do have some similar win cons, but Megamind's technology overall is just significantly better than Gru's. And I know he does have a ton of brain bots, way more brain bots than Gru has minions, but I still think the minions have a more operational advantage over the brain bots. They can just do more things, and they're certainly a lot more durable. I guess you could make the argument that the minions could mess things up for Gru, and they could be the reason why he loses, but, you know, they've stuck with him long enough at this point, right, that I don't think that would happen all the time. And if we're looking at them at their best, like both sides at their best, I don't really know if I buy into that argument all that much, but we'll just have to see what Death Battle says. So without further ado, let's get to watching. God, I'm so excited for this.
Megamind. You either die a despicable villain or live long enough to become an admirable hero.
Hell yeah, you do.
Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons.
God, it's gonna be so cool to see them just go over everything. Also, I did see the Gru model earlier. I do unfortunately think it looks a little weird. But we'll talk more about that later.
It merely goes dormant, waiting for a villain to arise and spread its name to the darkest corners of the earth. Like a
okay, interesting way to start this.
Cuts in line at the coffee shop and makes balloon animals for kids and then pops them in their
Truly
face.
The most despicable man.
What a despicable man.
There we go.
Surely tremble at his
Despicable
name.
Me.
Gru. Really? Just Gru?
Yeah, why not?
Have some sort of stage name or like doctorate or, you know?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, okay, there is the first name, Felonious, yeah. Felony, literally.
He's so dead.
Even as a small child, Gru had big aspirations. He could make rocket
Bald,
bikes,
they put
cheese
that down
rays,
there.
And this dog?
And his
What happens if you
grew
email that,
even
actually?
more with the help of his new best buddy, Dr. Nefario. See? Now that's a supervillain name. Come on, man.
With
It is a cool
Nefario's
name.
help, Gru's gadgets, Gru gadgets.
Boogie robots.
Flamethrowers, sticky fingers, fantastic entertainment for 2-year-olds, and a fully weaponized airship. Though I must question this thing's aerodynamics.
It's loaded up
Hey, I mean, it
with
works.
machine guns, a rocket thruster that can escape the Earth's atmosphere, and a whole lot of missiles.
Despite the impressive firepower, Gru's go-to weapon seems to be his freeze ray.
Oh, yeah.
Which can encase most people in ice with a single shot.
With his gadgets and gusto combined, and a little teaching from the School of Villainy, Gru started making strides in the underworld of evil. He
Well,
swiped the crown
somewhat.
jewels when he was
Not the
only
best
10,
villain, but
named
yeah.
the New York City Jumbotron just for fun, and even stole both the Eiffel Tower and the Statue of Liberty.
Did he?
From Las Vegas.
Yeah, there you
Gru
go.
was bad, but he wasn't good at being bad. A lot of his schemes kind of blew up in his face.
The line dividing genius from moron is a thin one. Just look at us.
Oh yeah, my back hurts from carrying all the genius between us.
Come on, man. Respect your
While Gru
partner.
may not have been the infamous villain he'd hoped, he did earn the loyalty of a few.
Oh, we know what that means.
Guys,
Yeah, guys, like little guys. There's Kevin, Bob, Stuart, Otto,
Yup.
Billy, Larry, John, Liam, Chad.
oh, the Minions. And that's
Liam
not
and
just
Chad
their
and John
role,
as well.
it's
Are
the
those
actual name of their
those are Death
species.
Battle
Right, the Minions have
crewmates?
existed since the dawn of life itself, over 3 billion years ago, and they all follow one instinct: to serve the biggest,
Yes.
baddest, most despicable villain they can find.
T-Rex.
So at the time it was a T-Rex.
AI artists, whatever.
Oh,
evil
man.
they can lay their grubby little eyes on.
Wasn't
Or
expecting
just
a
one
no-
eye.
a nod to
But
that.
finding their big boss was the easy part. Keeping them, not so much.
The amount of times the Minions have incidentally caused the death of their own bosses is staggering.
Wait, didn't
Yes,
one of them
it
serve
has
the Queen of
happened.
England?
Well, what about it?
But it hasn't happened with Gru yet. They've been with him for a
The
long
Minions
time.
witnessed Gru's villainy firsthand and decided that he would be the next big boss they follow.
Worked out like PB&J.
There's a lot of
Just
stats
like
for the
Gru,
Minions.
These guys do
Oh yeah, they
machines.
they
The
do have their own
Minions
weapons.
invented
Yeah,
the
that's
fly
fair.
swatter centuries before humans did. They somehow crafted light bulbs
Listing all
and
the
instruments
Minions.
while living in the Arctic. So naturally, building Gru's absolutely massive evil lair proved a simple task.
They're geniuses.
Very resilient,
they
too.
Once pulled off a jailbreak by
They
building
speak
a flying
Minionese.
machine out of prison outfits, vans, computers, and toilets. Aisle seaters are in shambles right now.
And they're seemingly invulnerable, having been smashed flat, set on fire, and exploded by missiles even inside their own mouths. But also, they're possibly immortal? Kevin here has been around since
Well,
the dawn of
yeah,
their
they've lived a
species,
long
which
time.
means Kevin is 3 billion years old.
And their numbers
Certainly
keep
doesn't act
increasing.
like it.
Over 10,000 minions
Yeah.
clock into work every day.
And yet, in a real work setting, they'd be fired in minutes.
Well, yeah, but this isn't your
There's
normal
nothing
work
like a
setting.
Banana, a popsicle, a butt, or anything remotely silly to distract them enough for plans to go off course. But these guys
As annoying
love
as the
TikTok.
Minions fad
It's
can
no
be, they
wonder
are
that,
fun.
Even with thousands of minions at his back, Gru still couldn't cut it as a supervillain. Maybe it was time to hang up the freeze ray for good, but
Oh.
not before taking a chance at his ultimate dream.
Still
The
double.
moon.
Easier said than done.
Oh no, really? The moon?
When he couldn't get the shrink ray he needed on his own, Gru required a new, even
Hi,
more
Margot.
despicable weapon.
Children. Specifically,
Edith and
adopting
Agnes.
3 girls. And somehow it worked. Crime of the century, here we go.
How tragic that through all the dance recitals and unicorns,
It's so
Gru
fluffy.
discovered the joys of fatherhood.
This whole episode is just
Oh,
references.
Story of my life. God, I'm so proud of her. Anyway, out with the villain and in with the bedtime stories.
But even though he turned a new leaf for his daughters, Gru wasn't done commanding his minion army. Now he'd just do it as not a villain.
Yeah.
By joining the Anti-Villain League.
The AVL hooked him up with lipstick tasers and goop grenades, mini submarines and high-tech cars, and some great date nights with the future Mrs. Gru. Things
Yeah.
are looking up, buddy.
5 minions even underwent experimental procedures to become more powerful than before.
Right, yeah, the Mega Minions, that's the name,
Tim
yeah.
Stretches. Dave got super strength. Gus got super strength and flight. Sorry, Dave. Jerry became an indestructible brick monster who eats live bombs. He's my favorite. And Mills' new laser eye can blast through the planet and hit a satellite on the other
Yeah.
side in less than a second.
Calculating its speed across the Earth.
Yeah,
that's
let's do this.
5% the speed of light.
So, Gru's true calling wasn't being a villain at all. He's an anti-villain. And he's good at it, too. This guy can dodge heat-seeking missiles and casually punch
Yeah,
out a
that's
shark in
crazy.
one shot. All because he was in full dad mode.
But the most incredible element here is easy to miss. For billions of years, the minions have had the biological drive to serve the greatest villain they can find.
Yep.
And yet, despite Gru's turn away from
Yes,
villainy,
this is
they
important.
chose to continue serving him. The minions' love for Gru is so strong, it overwrote their primordial genetic code.
They still
I mean, they
see
did ditch him for a
greatness in
while
him
at one
even
point,
now.
but
After
they
all,
came back to him.
Melodious Gru will go to the moon and back to keep his family safe. Wait, Kevin, don't touch that button!
Oh. Oh, Kevin.
What
Okay, now it's
happens when
time
the villain
for Megamind.
wins? On a grim, dark day, the citizens of Metro City learned the horrifying answer to that question when their hero, their Metro Man, was lost forever.
Oh
Bested by the
no.
fearsome supervillain
How
destined
tragic.
for greatness, Megamind.
Gotta love Megamind, man. Gotta love the whole movie.
You better match that energy. Their feud goes way back to when they escaped their dying planet Superman style and immediately got in each other's way.
Yep.
While Metro Baby landed in a nice and cozy home,
Should have
he
been
caused the
Megamind.
weird blue kid to crash land in prison and literally grow up behind bars. What kind of city government would make the kid stay in jail?
Hey, it wasn't as bad as you'd think. He was a perfect fit for the Metrocity prison for the
Metro
criminally
City.
gifted.
Metro City.
But while
Thank you,
everyone
Wiz.
outside bars loved that new kid who could fly, they weren't too keen on the boy with the big blue head and his constant string of
I feel like we have a word for
destructive
that.
So if he was going to be the bad guy no matter what, why not embrace it and become a true supervillain?
I mean, it's the whole nature versus
Sounds
nurture
kinda like
thing,
you.
right?
Megamind is a genius inventor, creating weapons to stage prison breaks before he could even talk.
He's also
Also
bald.
like
Yes, thank
With a
you.
bit of tutoring from Machiavellian in the ways of wrongdoing, he got to work on his crime-starting career, facing off with his destined rival over and over again.
Yeah, but
And
never
Megamind's
quite
got
getting the job
everything
done.
He needs. An invisible
Well,
car
not
for
until,
getaways.
you know, the
Assuming
day.
He can find the thing. A hover bike for flying and shooting at the same time if he can multitask. Lasers,
Right.
bombs, bubble guns, baseball bats, jet boots, and more galore.
But his go-to is
Nice-
the
nice work with the
D-gun,
comics.
a laser pistol with various possible effects, such as destroying, decelerating, demoralizing, de-locking,
Right.
de-gravity thing.
I wouldn't expect
Yeah,
the guy
look at all those
calling
settings
himself
up there.
Megamind to have the best name ideas, Wiz. He probably based the entire thing around his favorite setting, dehydration, which turns people and objects into tiny cubes for easy storage, though they can be returned to normal with a drop
I'm
of
just
water.
trying to absorb
He did
all
keep
this
the whole
information because
mind
it is a
thing running
lot.
with his horde of henchmen, the Brainbots. These mini-mechs follow Megamind's every command, even pulling off the most incredible drone show you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
Which, according to the director's commentary, is made up of over 100,000
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Brainbots. Though, ironically,
For all the
I wouldn't
Brainbots
call
that would be
his
needed to do
Brainbots,
that.
Smart. That designation goes to Megamind's proper minion, Minion.
Minion serves
Or
many
old
roles
chum.
for Megamind. Sidekick, guy in the chair, awkward sibling relationship.
Minion's
despite
intelligence is on par with
technically being
Megamind's.
his pet.
Okay.
The best fish friend you could have in your plans to kidnap news reporter Roxanne Ritchie to piss off Metro Man for the 19th time this week. Or for the final
Right,
time.
yeah.
Children, shield your eyes!
Thanks to his most
The day that
powerful
he
invention of
did
all,
it.
an orbital death ray that could shatter mountains, Metro City's hero had fallen. It was Megamind's time to rule.
And he had no idea
Yep.
what to do next.
So bored.
With Metro Man dead. What was even the point?
Clearly, he
Such a
needed
fun
new superhero
concept.
Fight. And apparently, he could just make that happen. With his diffuser gun, he injected this loser with Metro Man's DNA,
Yep.
turning him into Metro Man 2.0
Hi, Hal.
Titan.
Megamind even trained him himself, using his disguise generator and expert acting skills. What a performer! But for all his smarts, Megamind is a terrible judge of character. When
Right.
Titan turned tyrant, Metrocity needed
No,
yet another
he was not the guy
superhero
for the
to
job.
save it.
Metro City. Thanks to some encouragement from an old friend,
Who's alive?
wasn't actually dead at all and just let all of this happen despite having godlike superpowers. Thanks to some encouragement
With
from a
great
very
power comes
experienced
great responsibility,
friend,
Metro Man.
Megamind stepped up to the plate.
Hey, he had the moxie for it. Megamind's tanked explosions and dodged electric blasts. Titan was strong enough to toss around a skyscraper.
Yeah.
And Megamind put up a solid fight with his mech armor.
A suit specifically designed to mimic the pilot's movements, whether it be
Right.
post sword fighting, busting a move, or being surprisingly stealthy.
And with quick thinking and some hench help, Megamind taught Titan a lesson he knew all too well. The bad guy always loses.
That's
So
right.
The city decided
Well,
to just
mostly,
forgive
I guess.
Megamind of all his years of terror and destruction and call him their superhero. I guess they didn't really have any better options.
Hey, Megamind took his new role as the city's hero seriously. He even built a suit that mimicked Metro Man's strength, flight, and X-ray vision.
Now, the D-gun is used to make runaway bad guys lose their balance and get caught. His portal bazooka is excellent for saving people from out-of-control cars.
Right.
And while the Death Ray might not have been a hero killer, it's certainly great at blowing up giant evil robots.
Oh yeah, it's still
Minion was
powerful.
all for it.
Actually, once they went nice, Minion had to legally change his name to Old
Yeah,
Chen
I wonder
because of some
why.
other Minion-related thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, guys.
No, I mean they got a cease and desist from Mr. Minion's Meatsicles.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, but come
As
on.
though to call him Minion. You can't break up this duo.
Even
No, you
as
cannot.
Megamind uses his tools for good, destruction still tends to be inevitable. To the point that, as the new mayor of Metro City and his new partner, Roxanne instated a policy that anyone inconvenienced by a Megamind battle would receive a free cup of coffee. That
Aw,
sounds
that's so
horrifically bad for
nice.
corruption.
So that's why there's so many Starbuckses everywhere.
Yes, that's
At least
exactly the
Brainbots
reason.
are covering all the cleanup. It's a
I don't
messy
think I've
job
literally
being a
ever had
superhero,
Starbucks,
but
actually.
Megamind's finally found his purpose, even saving the city from the Doom Syndicate, which is like 6 of him.
Though not without some self-induced difficulty. You have an instant wind gun on your head. Use it!
Hey, with
And it can blast
girlfriends,
multiple
sidekicks,
targets at
and adoring
once.
fans to keep him going. It doesn't matter what sort of danger comes to town. Megamind will always rise up as the defender of Metrocity.
It's
Metro City. I love you, Megamind, but try to get the name
All
right.
The combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
Okay,
It's time for a death
time for a death battle!
battle!
And we can pause that right there. Okay, so I'll be honest, I am a little torn right now, just because I don't really think there was a lot of measurable stuff that they put into the analyses. You know, it was very number absent this time, and I feel like there might be a good reason for that. It might be the thing where it's like, oh, well, actually, the numbers that we use would actually make it, you know, so one-sided. We have to wait until later to reveal them, right? Like, maybe that's the case. The main thing I remember as far as numbers is the speed difference between the laser minion, I'm sorry, I forget his name, but you know, that one, like the one with the laser eye, which could shoot at, what'd they say, 5% the speed of light, I think it was, versus Megamind dodging lightning, which I assume they're using the step leader speed for that rather than the return stroke, because if they were using the return stroke, that would actually be faster, because that's like a third the speed of light, whereas 5% is less than a third. But I assume they would be using the step leader. That tends to be the value they use these days. So it makes me want to think that the fastest thing on Gru's side, at least, you know, according to their numbers, is faster than the fastest thing on Megamind's side. They didn't really talk about the laser vision for Titan, you know, whether or not that's actually light speed, which again, you know, Megamind was able to dodge. He was mostly using his jetpack. He wasn't able to do it forever, right? So maybe they're not really factoring that in, or maybe they don't really think it's light speed, so they don't feel the need to bring it up, right? That could be it as well. So as far as the numbers they gave for speed, they could give ones later, but as far as the ones they gave already, that makes me want to say that Gru overall has the speed advantage. And it's difficult for me to say otherwise, because again, a lot of numbers just aren't really there, at least not yet. But I do know that Death Battle tends to focus on a lot of important things for the conclusion in the analyses, and they did put a lot of focus on the minions. And they specifically said that the minions will stick with Gru kind of like no matter what at this point, right? So I think that's kind of to debunk the argument that, well, could they just swap sides and, you know, side with Megamind mid-battle if they think that he's more evil? No, they wouldn't do that, right? But they did also talk about, you know, them causing the death of their leaders before. But again, they've stuck with Gru for a long time at this point. They haven't done that. I don't think that's going to happen in this battle. I don't think Gru is going to lose because of the minions, right? So it seems like the minions could be a big problem, because they talked about, you know, the orbital death laser that could blow up mountains, right? And, you know, destroy giant mechs or whatnot. But like, I still don't think that could take out the minions, even if it was strong enough to actually destroy the minions, which again, I don't know whether or not it is, because they didn't really give numbers. But even if it is strong enough to destroy the minions, I don't think it can take out all of the minions literally at once, right? But they did also talk about the Metro Man power mimicking suit, so he does have that as well. Like, if he gets close to Gru, I think Gru could take a few hits from it, but like extended combat with it, you know, I don't know if his cartoon durability is enough for that. So it is really tough because it kind of feels like they specifically worded things in a way that I can't really put it together just yet. They did talk about, you know, the whole insta-win gun right with you. And yes, he does have a lot of ways to like instantly win, so to speak, if he gets close enough to Gru. But Gru also has his own insta-win in a way, like with the freeze ray, right? Like if he freezes you completely, you're just stuck there. If he leaves part of you open, then you might be able to break out. But if he just freezes you completely, then that's a permanent incapacitation. That's also an insta-win. So I still kind of want to say that the minions are going to be too overwhelming. But then again, there is also the portal gun. It depends on how many of them he can take away. But also, like, Megamind is only one guy, right? Like, he does also have Minion, and I know he has his sidekick. I saw that listed in the bar as well, but like, he can only use so many of his weapons at one time, right? And stuff like the orbital laser, like, he kind of needs breakaway time for that, or the sun needs to warm up or whatnot, like, if he wants to be able to use that. Some of his traps, I feel like, would require more time than he's going to be able to have. And the minions, again, like, they have their own operational value. They should be able to operate some of the stuff that Gru has. I feel like more of Gru's weaponry is just kind of going to be used more, like, at more times, or more at one time, I guess. So it is tough. I feel like there might be some big numbers that kind of just reveal it afterwards. I'm going to stick with Gru for winning. I would like to see Megamind win. I'd really like to see him pull this off. Right now I'm going to stick with Gru, but it's tough because I feel like the analyses didn't really give me a lot of solid information as far as like their exact capabilities. But we're just going to have to see what happens. So let's watch this battle. Oh, we're getting right into this. Okay. There's Gru and the minions.
We're not letting him get away.
Hi, peoples.
And I know that Luis voices all of the minions, which is kind of awesome.
Who chases the bad guys?
Ooh. Yeah, the ships department, I think Gru definitely has the edge. Oh god.
Minion, I'm going to need a new pair of pants.
Oh
Yes, sir.
man.
Sending you the Sunday best package.
So you have him as this guy in the chair. That's cool.
Take this.
No, that's falling too. Oh yes. Yes. Oh, that's so cool.
Freeze ray, a dark color scheme. Strike ray, henchmen who look the same. Laser gun, genius weaponry. You are suddenly a real supervillain.
Okay, so he respects him. He has the presentation. It's a Sonic pop.
You're just missing one thing.
Oh, he doesn't have the presentation.
And what might that be?
Oh, thank God they put the Brainbots to good use.
And start the music.
We having a dance-off now? No, come on, man. You should know you can. Oh, this is fun.
Oh, check that mark in the morning. No, hey, we just fixed that. Come on, sir. Smash.
And there's the laser minion.
Oh, hey, that's kind of cute.
So they're just kind of off doing their own things. Ooh.
You dare challenge Megamind in my own monstrosity? Do you even know who I am? Well, life is full of disappointments.
Aw.
Hey!
Okay, I was about to say, what's up with the audio there? Oh! Yeah, I was about to say, get like the big one.
Now, as you like to say,
So as they're just distracted, that they just get blown up.
going to steal my lines, at least do it properly.
Well, we're not done. Although, where's the water? Because I'm sure he's gonna come back. Oh, just the spit. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
It was cool to actually see him get dehydrated.
Minion, is the death ray ready? Approaching.
Warming up.
Getting there. Almost, kinda, maybe. On the way.
It was just so fun with the references.
Whoa.
Gru, what are you gonna do about this? Oh! Very quick thinking.
Oh, Roxanne's gonna kill you.
I mean, not if Gru doesn't kill you first. Or not if Gru kills you first.
The good guys always win. This is
But you're
how
both
it's
good guys.
really done. Dehydration, guys.
Wait, how'd he get that?
You mean? Oh, wait a minute. This is all a big misunderstanding. Huh?
He had it on the wrong setting, I suppose. Yeah.
All work is going to.
Oh, man. Whoops.
I guess that's 2 for Gru, 0 for Will Ferrell.
Right.
So many chaotic factors in this fight, it can get overwhelming trying to keep track of them.
It's
So
that
we'll
that
break it
sucks
down
to see
3
him die, but that
ways:
was
arsenal,
funny as
minions,
hell.
and skill.
In terms of weapon versatility, Megamind definitely had much more to use.
Yes.
The D-gun alone had enough effects to match what Gru could do with nearly his whole kit.
Mm-hmm.
Throw in disguise generators, invisible cars, portal bazookas, and it's a lot for Gru to handle.
Just one problem. Megamind might have had variety, but Gru's weaponry was far stronger in scope.
Okay,
Sure,
that's kinda what I
Megamind's death ray could
expected.
blow up a mountain, but Gru's shrink ray could take out the moon.
And is much easier to use on top of it. Frankly, much of Megamind's deadliest weaponry would have little effect anyway.
Check this out. When Gru first tried to
So
get
now
the
we're
shrink
getting
ray,
into the
he
numbers.
triggered a missile
Yeah,
trap so explosive
had a
it
feeling.
created a mushroom
I'm happy they're at
cloud
least
based on the
including it,
size of the
though.
blast. That's about 4 kilotons of TNT, and all those missiles fired at him from point-blank range.
Shockingly, that's about 38 times greater than Megamind's
Oh,
orbital
well, saying like
death ray.
mountain
And
level
Gru
or
kind
top of the
just
mountain or whatever is a
walked
bit
it
misleading,
off.
but okay.
Megamine's mecha suit could take big hits like that, but Megamind himself? No.
No,
So
absolutely
Megamind
not.
would have a hard
He is
time
durable,
blowing
but
him
like
up,
not
but he
quite
can
that
still
level.
Dehydrate him, disintegrate him, freeze him, or even just turn off his gravity and send him flying into space, right?
Sure, though Gru does have some similar weaponry. As far as
Yes.
Arsenal is concerned, Gru could take out Megamind through sheer firepower, but Megamind could potentially counter with the D-gun's effects. It's a whoever shoots first wins
Exactly.
situation. Their arsenals match up fairly evenly.
But
Okay.
these guys aren't alone.
I mean,
Let's
Megamind's
cover
is still
Gru's
better, but I guess in
minions and
how
Megamind's,
applicable they are against each other.
minions.
Fair.
One of Gru's minions was certainly more likely to take out a Brainbot. Sure, minions may have the attention span of an iPad kid, but they can effortlessly hack, dismantle, and rewire
Yes,
most
exactly.
machines. Like, you know, Megamind's Brainbots.
And they just won't die. Certainly nothing the Brainbots have can take them
No.
out. For all we know, the minions may be completely indestructible.
To be fair,
From anything from
maybe
either of the
one
verses,
Brainbot
yeah.
doesn't stand a chance against one minion, but there are far
There are
more
way
Brainbots
more.
than minions in total.
But they're not
10
as
more.
useful
And the
in
Brainbots
most
are a
cases.
much more organized and focused unit.
Compared to the vanilla minions, maybe. But the mega minions are strong enough to rip and chomp through metal like wet paper. And metal's
Yeah, thank
got a
God for
history of
Despicable Me
destroying
4
satellites
for
with a
Gru.
laser beam strong enough to cut through the earth. So it's bye-bye Death Ray.
But we can't ignore the most competent minion of them all, Minion, or Megamind's
Yes.
Minion. Old chump.
He's
That guy.
way more competent than Dr. Navario, can operate all the tech like the mech suit used to fight Titan, and can match Megamind's brains and style beat for beat.
Right.
Remember that whole presentation bit in the movie? Yeah, that wasn't Megamind.
No, that was Minion.
That was Minion.
While Megamind's army lacks the power of, say, the Mega Minions, having a second in command who's just as smart and capable as him makes up for it, making a battle of their underlings.
So it's just like such
So, if
different
neither of them
advantages
has a
in the
clear
same
edge in
category.
weaponry
It's
or their
crazy.
henchmen, what matters most isn't the tools themselves, but how good or bad they are at using them. It all comes down to skill.
Well,
Both
that's
Gru
Gru.
and Megamind have their share
Yeah.
of less than genius moments and bad luck. But even in the face of things gone wrong, Gru tends to fail upwards, still ultimately completing his
That's one way to
missions,
put it.
Unlike Megamind, who tends to fail much harder before he learns how to succeed.
And we love him for it. It's not like Gru has to put up with Elvis Superman. But even during their villain phases, Gru found some success.
Yeah, he's a parody of a
Unlike
Bond
Megamind,
villain.
Who also has
Whereas
bad
Megamind's a
habit
parody of Lex
not
Luthor.
using his weapon effectively. like never using the D-gun against the Doom Syndicate, either because he can get easily flustered or he just loves showing off.
Yeah,
So
I mean, if that was their only argument, I would have had issues, but,
quick draw situation with their arsenals.
you know.
Quick draw is right. Megamind dodge and electric blast is impressive, clocking in around half the speed of sound.
But it
Oh.
pales in comparison to Gru
Half the speed of
piloting
sound?
hypersonic ships into space and
Must have been a
dodging
large distance
heat-seeking
then.
missiles at Mach 10. Meaning he is fast
I still
enough
feel
to
like they
win
have better
that
speed
quick
feats
draw.
or scaling,
Gru takes
but, you know.
skill, which finally tips the
I still think Gru
scales.
overall
After
edges
a
out there,
nail-biting
yeah.
back and forth, he has just enough to land the winning blow first, more often
But, like,
than
yeah,
not.
look how
Sorry,
close this
Megamind.
is. It's
I think
crazy.
you losing was a monstrosity.
It's Metro's. The winner is Felonious Gru.
Good job, Felonious Gru.
Next time on
Sorry,
Death
Megamind.
Battle.
Next time on Death Battle. Oh, we're back to anime again. So, I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's... So it's Yuji and Denji.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death
We're
Battle.
right here already. Yeah, okay, yeah. For those of you guys who love anime, wow. We're getting a lot of them this year. So that means we're having another Chainsaw Man like 2 episodes later. Okay, fine. I've said before, like, I'm not thrilled with the way Death Battle does their, not their scheduling necessarily, but their ordering of episodes. Where, to me, it's clear that, like, they're putting these episodes so close together because they were just finished first, right? So that, you know, I'm not thrilled about that. I kind of wish maybe they put more thought into their ordering. Not to say, like, you know, it makes the episodes worse by being close together. It's just, I like more variety in my Death Battle, right? Like, I got hyped for a Chainsaw Man episode already. So, I don't know. And also, if Denji loses, there's the potential for them to go 0-3, the whole Chainsaw Man world. So that is kind of funny. But yeah, if anything, if it was going to happen this year, I would have expected much later. But okay, fair enough. Hope you anime fans are happy because you're eating good right now when it comes to Death Battle. So yeah, we got that for you. But yeah, as far, I don't really have much more to say about that. Like, I'll have a prediction out, I'm sure, for this, like, at some point, either like tomorrow or the day after. Like, I'll find some time for it. But yeah, that's definitely not what I was expecting. But it's not like I'm pleasantly surprised necessarily. This is still one of my most wanted Death Battles, though, funnily enough, like, within my top 50. So that is nice. But again, you know, it does kind of get it's like when they use, like, Marvel and DC all the time, right? Like, I would have been way more excited for Martian Manhunter versus Silver Surfer if it wasn't so close to all the other Marvel and DC episodes, you know? So, I don't know, maybe I'm just bitching a little too much, maybe this doesn't really matter to you guys, but I just prefer if they were to spread things out and maybe use some more variety of series at this point. But, you know, again, we got Gru versus Megamind. That's something I really wanted, so at least we got that. And this does scratch another one off of my top 50. I'm very excited to see how they do this one. Just wish the placement was a little different, but I am still excited. Sorry if my initial reaction made it sound like I hated this matchup or anything. I definitely don't. This is the matchup I wanted for both Yuji and Denji. It's just really surprising it's happening now. But okay, talking about this episode now. So that was a lot of fun. Obviously, it was clear that this was an episode that was prioritizing, like, references and humor over basically everything else. And, you know, I think there are some episodes where that is fine, because if they didn't have enough of that stuff, I might have honestly been a little more upset. So I am happy that they included all of that. If I have any major critiques for, like, the analysis, I do think maybe they could have gone a little deeper into analyzing just, like, the pure scope of their capabilities. I understand that, like, when at some point it's like when you're comparing one character to the other, you don't need to go into the nitty gritty to realize, okay, who has the advantage in this case, who has the advantage in that case, so on and so forth. Although for this one, they did have to go into a lot of specific detail about exactly how their minions help them and all that, which was really cool. They did have to talk about a lot of different things. But as far as, like, their exact capabilities, there's still a part of me that thinks, like, yes, this is a battle between Gru and Megamind, but we're also trying to analyze Gru and Megamind individually and, like, as accurately as we can. So there's a part of me that still kind of wishes, like, is there more we could have said about their personal speed and capabilities. And I know, again, in the conclusion, they definitely talked about that a lot more than they did in the analyses. I still kind of feel like there are some questions I have about their exact capabilities. But again, as far as actually like comparing them to each other, they did do more than enough to make me think like, okay, yeah, so it's close, but with all of, again, with Gru's minions and that advantage that it has, and just the general skill and their track records, like, yes, that is enough to convince me that Gru would win, even if I would have liked to see Megamind win, even if I would have preferred that they bought those arguments and were able to convince me of those arguments. I obviously want Death Battle to stay true to what they believe, and I thought Gru was going to win anyway, honestly, so, and for decently similar reasons, so I'm happy to get the prediction right, if nothing else, right? But it does suck to see Megamind die, but the death was so funny. Some people might call that anticlimactic. I can understand that. If you're always looking for something really bombastic in your death battles, I can understand maybe thinking like, really, that's the way it ends. But with comical characters, like, I think this should have been a comical fight. And they still stayed in character a lot of the time, I would say. The voice acting was fine, definitely not like perfect impressions, but like, when do they ever really get perfect impressions? I guess when they got the guy who did Poe who did Poe again? Was that, I might be completely wrong. Was that Tom Shock or was that someone else? No, I'm probably wrong about that. I don't know who they got for Poe, but I remember for Poe versus Iron Fist, like, he did a really good Jack Black impression. It definitely wasn't him now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure. Either way, yeah, he did a really good Poe impression. Yeah, these guys were not exact, but they were serviceable enough. They still did a really good job as far as the acting itself was concerned. And Luis voicing all those minions, that's so great to see. I will say that, like, Megamind's model looked really good. Like, almost perfect. And the minions, while not necessarily looking perfect, they looked about as good as I expected. And Minion himself also looked really good. The Gru model, it looked a little weird. Like, just the head, though. The body and, like, the suit, you know, his clothing and all that looked fine. The head itself, I think, maybe could have used a little extra work. And I'm not trying to come down on anyone for this, because I know animation is ridiculously hard, and I know that, you know, that they probably put a lot of work into it, and, you know, kudos to that, you know, keep doing what you're doing, of course. However, that does not absolve things like this from criticism. You're still allowed to have opinions. You're still allowed to criticize things. You're allowed to criticize things that you like, you know, which is something I think a lot of people don't really understand, that if you automatically criticize, or if you criticize something, that means you automatically hate it, which is just not true. And my one criticism with the animation and the models is that I just think maybe they could have spent a little more time figuring out, like, the geometry of Gru's head, because he is a 3D character. He should be able to work really well in 3D. And I don't know, I just feel like maybe there was a little more work they could have done there. But still, like, the animation, again, was a ton of fun. I like how they incorporated what they incorporated into it. Of course, there's always more stuff you could throw out, especially for Megamind, because he just has so many different things. But I think, as usual, they tried to prioritize the main things, and I'm really happy about that, you know, so that's great. And again, like, the analyses were also full of fun references. You know, they went over all the story beats they needed to. The humor is, I think, was like arguably the most important part of the presentation of it, and I think that was overall nailed, so I'm really happy about that. And yeah, overall, we got Gru versus Megamind. We got it in what I think is a pretty satisfying way, so I'm really happy about that. But I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. Did you enjoy? Did you not enjoy? Who do you think should have won? Let me know down in the comments below. Love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, comment your comments, subscribe if you could too. That'd be amazing. That would really help my channel out. But no matter what, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And of course, huge thanks to my channel members. You guys are amazing. And yeah, that's it for me. I will see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out.